and gentlemen, boys and girls, and nani nonke, welcome to another episode of Daddies of SA. As usual, we try and get you some cool dads or guys we think are very inspirational or have something to share around fatherhood. So the guy I have here today, I think he's no stranger to a lot of us, but I've known him for a long time. I think we'll hopefully get into that. But yeah, without any further delays, I'd like to welcome the one and only Fezile Makhanya. You know, there's already applause happening, eh? How are you, brother?
What's good, man?
Are you good?
Are you well? Don't leave me hanging, bro.
No, I'm not leaving you hanging. I want to see you've got the mic in the right place. So I'm just checking the levels.
It's fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
should I make my voice deeper?
Oh, I know. Oh, gosh. Are you good?
I'm well, man.
So yeah. That's we call it here vulamlomo, you know? That's our vulamlomo. That's how you like it. Strong and black.
Strong and black.
Are you good?
Well, man, can't complain.
Thank you for gracing us here on Daddies of SA.
Appreciate it. Thank you for the invite.
I think when I met this guy in an awkward space, I said, dude, I can see you're a dad now. Because when I first met you, you weren't a dad, eh?
No.
We were young.
Bruh, when did we meet, actually? I'm even trying to remember, because I know it was a long time ago. I just can't recall.
I'll remind you. I'll speak of a certain person and then you'll connect the dots.
Okay.
So I met you through Kabelo Zingwa. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No, you've said enough.
You know what I'm saying?
You've said enough.
Correct.
You've said
enough. And
enough.
then we hit it off ever since then.
You've said enough.
And yeah, you were still a young guy. I think around about then you're still doing a lot of TV stuff.
Yeah.
Presenting actually.
Was it not like SABC, those things?
SABC or Channel O?
Yeah.
I don't know,
something,
man.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
But yeah, we were still young.
That's
long ago.
Oh, that was a long time ago, bro.
Is it making sense now? You connected the dots.
Yeah.
But now, time is here and we are dads.
Yeah, we are.
So what I want to talk about, Fezile, is just to have a background on who you are, how you were raised. But what we really want to focus on now is Fezile now being a dad and how he's handling and navigating this new era of his life of being a father, you know. So just take us back, man. Who's Fezile? How was he raised?
Yeah, so Fezile is from KZN, the northern part of KZN. So that's more those that are familiar with the province. Once you cross the Tugela River, coming from Durban, it becomes Zululand. It's the only province with a name and a surname. So I'm from KwaZulu. Durban is part of Natal.
Yes. Durban is like it's a town, it's a city.
Not even a city, apart from Durban itself.
Yeah.
The whole region, even like you're looking at your, not Mtunzini, once you go to the south coast of Durban or towards more just before the north coast, it's all part of a place called Natal.
Okay.
Once you cross the Tugela River, now you're in Zululand, where Shaga and all those guys are from. Ne?
That's where you from?
That's where I'm from.
Okay.
You know? So,
boy.
So, I grew up in a place called Eskawini, which is now known.
I know Eskawini.
Eskaleni. Initially, the name is actually, it's called Eskaleni. Why? When you go to Eskawini, it steeps. It's almost like a
okay.
So they call it Eskaleni Senkosi Ucechwai. Hence the municipality is even called King Cechwai region.
Some history lessons,
yeah. So I come from a family of 5, a mother and a father, an older sister, myself, and a younger sister. So I'm a middle child and the only boy amongst girls.
Yeah.
My parents have been currently married now for, I think it's 45 years.
Still together.
Still Amazing. Going strong by God's grace. Had a very normal childhood, you know. And when we grew up in the 80s, there was a lot of political violence between the ANC and the IFA.
Hey, no. We had that in Gauteng as well.
Really?
Yeah, heavy.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Because it was Stella.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of the Zulu-speaking people would stay. And then we were in the townships.
Okay.
So that violence between the two
Yes.
political parties, they
Yeah.
would literally flood the township. And I remember this vividly, guys with spears running past my house. And my mother was like crying, Guti, I must come to her house. And funny enough, I was at Kabelo's house. So our houses were like across each other.
Yeah.
But these guys were just right. And luckily, someone could have easily just,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
it didn't happen. I'm here today.
So we grew up in that era. A lot of political violence that took place. My father is one of those guys onenhlanhla. Ngezinto. People love him. Unegazi elihle.
Yeah.
He has been offered to join political parties. He is like, guys, this thing of yours, and he's mina personally. Purely
Politics.
because no. He's like, I want to see my kids grow old and have kids, and this thing of niyabulala nina, it's not gonna happen. So
Wise man.
Yeah.
Wise man.
He has been offered a lot of things that he's like, no thanks, you know? And thankfully, he's now 72 this year.
Yeah.
Still alive,
Still young, I
still
think.
healthy, still doing well. You know, it's great being with him. Now I think we are in a position where we understand each other as men.
Kusongena emendweni
Because manje,
Ziyaqala
Senkulu,
manje.
you know, I've got a great relationship with my mom as well.
Yeah.
I'm still a mommy's boy till today. Older sister as well, she's doing okay, and then there's me, and then there's a
Yeah.
younger one, and then I've got two other sisters that are much older than my older sister that my father had before getting married.
Got you.
Unfortunately, they are late. But yeah, I'm basically the only boy. Ngikhule kahle mfethu, ekasi, you know, ithama spana. My father's always been independent, you know, doing his own thing. Makhanya's plumbing, started off with that, and then got into construction, you know. So yeah, it's just been that kind of, you know, upbringing. I can't say that we were not poor and we were not rich. Just a normal middle class family, Elukshin. And people get
In the
this-
80s.
Yes.
Yeah.
People get this misconception that uma ukhule kasi ngiyahlupheka. Or you know, do you know what I mean? That's mostly the
narrative.
They associate growing up in a location with poverty.
Or the connotation.
Correct.
Correct. Yeah.
But also, I'm not saying that we're not rich. No. It's a normal middle class, and there's a lot of those as well who are just abantu nje abapila like a normal life.
You know what? I'd agree to what you're saying because I look back because, you know, we'd obviously go to multiracial schools and you'd compare yourself with maybe your counterparts living in the burbs. You would, we are poor. But if you actually think about it, take your house and put it in a certain environment, you still have
It fits
it's
perfectly.
a 3-bedroom house. There's a bathroom in the house. There's a kitchen. There's a living room.
Yeah.
You just happen to be a Lokshini.
Correct.
Maybe you have a car or not, but uyadla, whatever the food may be, but there's always food.
Yeah.
And you sleep and there's security. So
Yes.
that's pretty a normal, decent life.
Correct. I mean, that's kind of similar to what we almost had, you know? But it was a great upbringing, man. I'd be lying. My parents have done the best they possibly could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how was the relationship between you and your father growing up? What do you remember as a child?
My
between you
father,
and him?
when I was young, Ubaba was not always around because of work.
Yeah.
Having a business that is still growing, it just needed his attention. So Ubaba would leave very early in the morning and come back late in the evening. So I'd see him like during supper time. And then it's sleeping time for me. And then I'd see him a little bit in the morning. Uma ngivuka, uyaphuma.
Hello. Coffee out.
All right. Yeah, I know. Kuhle, sharp, gone. You know. And back then, you know, amatuba for black people were not as much as they are now.
Yeah.
So he had to work twice as hard. You know.
Can you imagine?
But interestingly enough, when I have a conversation with him, Uti, he prefers those days
of working
compared to now.
To work.
Yes.
Yo.
Why?
Interesting.
Uti, there was not as much corruption, if any, that he knew of back then. And work was almost guaranteed. Look, you were guaranteed that you were going to get X amount.
Based on your input.
Correct. Now, if you don't know Uneo, you're screwed.
angeke sikuvulele.
Khohlwa.
Competence aside.
Laphana wakuthiwa okay, who is a plumber that there's Makhanya was.
Dala uyenza lento.
Kakudala yenza isibone. Done. Then there's referrals, and I'm not talking about from white people.
Yeah.
You know,
he was servicing the region.
Correct. You know, so that's the unfortunate part when you look at it now. It's like, okay, you know, it's sad to hear that. But to answer your question, how was my relationship with my dad? I mean, it's a typical relationship you have with your father when you're that young, you know.
Work, I see you.
You know, you see him and that's it. You know, you'll play now and again if ever you do. But it's almost like in the animal world, it's almost like a male lion with the cubs.
Okay.
If you ever see like the cubs trying to go to the father, the dad goes, rawr, you know, he barks.
Like, get away, man.
He roars. And get away, you know? So
go watch TV.
As long as you're fed and you're alive.
Yeah, and I can see you.
That's it.
We're happy.
Finish.
Yeah. No. That's interesting. And I from what you were saying, I can feel that it was cool for you. It was cool. And obviously, you know, our mothers are caring.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
They, I don't want to speak much about them because I know they're just amazing. There's so much. But for the interest of the podcast, so as you grew, how did your dad, shape your direction into coming into your teenage years and growing just prior to becoming a young man?
So I remember the first lesson my father taught me. I think I was about 9 or 10. He bought me a stopwatch.
Yeah, 9, 10.
Yes.
Okay.
A sports stopwatch. And he says, mfanam, me, ngifuna into uyigqoke njalo. Understand ukuthi time is the most important thing. Do not be late for appointments. Waking up, going to school, going to church. I grew up in a very religious family.
Yeah.
You know, and this one took at that time, 10.
Okay.
So that's the first lesson my father taught me. Secondly, the one day
So he attached time to that value.
Correct.
Of all the other things around.
Correct. And till today.
That's nice.
If there's one thing, I don't wear jewelry apart from a ring that I wear now and again.
So pagati boy.
I don't wear a chain.
I even forgot mine.
Mina, this is a silicone one.
Oh yes.
Because the other ones, hangers man,
it's not easy, ne?
Uncomfortable. Because I'm not because
of
my work. Yeah, bo?
Okay.
So.
But I have to wear it.
Yeah. So the second lesson is he bought me a rugby jersey to play at school, in primary school. I'm one of the very few guys ekasi abadlala rugby ekoleni zama suburbs.
Yeah.
Yabo.
Yeah.
And funny enough, I became very good at it.
Okay. What, playing wing maybe?
Yeah.
You see. It's always as these
first center. No, bro.
Like guys.
You know,
it's either you wing or fullback.
Till today in KZN, I still have the under 13 record. Of the 100 meters. I'm serious.
100 meters?
Yeah.
Don't start with me with 100 meters.
Doggy dog.
What's your time? What's your best time?
At 13, it was 13.7.
Okay.
12.7, sorry.
At 13 years of age.
Under 17, 10.64.
Okay, I don't remember what year it was. But your best time is 10.64.
10.64.
That's my best time was 11.1. But I don't remember what age was. But I remember I ran 11.1 and this boy who won ran 10.5.
Yo.
That's what I was like. And I was like, yo. And that was my fastest race.
He's fast.
Yeah. But yeah. So yeah.
So then I got the rugby jersey, started playing rugby. And you know, there's a lot of things you learn by playing rugby. I'm biased to the sport because it's all I know, you know, more than soccer. It teaches you how to play.
Shout out Bafana. Still care, even though, hey.
It teaches you how to play with other people. But rugby is a hooligan's game played by gentlemen. And football is a gentleman's game played by hooligans. You find that a lot of rugby players are disciplined naturally. It's a tough game to play.
Yeah.
It's very physical. But there's a gentleman sportsmanship about it. And most importantly, discipline.
Yeah.
If there's one thing you will know about rugby, look at all the rugby players that have come and gone. How many of them do you know that have died poor compared to football players?
I hear you, and you know what? There'll be different schools of thought around that, but the reality is few have heard of.
Exactly.
But we can go into the whole things of structures and the support, the economical factors that were supporting the sport prior.
Yes.
There's a lot of that. But you know what?
Correct.
I'll align with you on one thing. Discipline.
Yes.
The guys are disciplined.
There we go.
Completely.
So some of those things are what my father has taught me. Time and discipline. I mean, I was naughty, bro, growing up. Ngang shower every day. If I shower, I'm scared.
Indli.
Shower indli.
Yeah, that era Indugo was a thing.
Showcase. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my dad grew up without a mother and a father.
Mm-hmm.
They were alive, but they were never married.
Mm-hmm.
He was physically and emotionally abused, you know? I think Ubaba was not the person that hit me the most. It was more my mom than my dad. I think purely because of his upbringing. Maybe it's a trauma or a trigger of some sort, you know? It's only when I was like almost, I'd say about 10ish, then I started getting the proper hidings from my dad. You know?
So in daughter, yeah.
Yeah, bo.
Now
so
you
manje, I must start feeling the pinch in the buttocks.
Yeah.
You know? But that didn't last for long. I think it was maybe a 4, I'd say from 10 till about 11ish, 12ish. And then after that, my 13th birthday.
That's when you did your 10.5.
It was a Friday.
Yeah.
No, I did my 10.5 at 17.
17, sorry.
13th birthday. I remember it was in his office. Happy birthday, mfanam. Sure, baba ngiyabonga. So ezansi angithi sekuneyboyanyana ezikhula. Yeah. Okay, no. Manje sekuzoqala ukuqina yabo. Iphathe kahle mfanami, ungithembisa. Ungabi nengane ungakashadi.
That's the lesson.
That was the only lesson.
And that's how he spoke about it.
Yeah. That was it.
And it made sense to you then?
No, I'm 13. Like, what do I know about having kids?
All right. So
I've never had sex. You know, so you
I'm
have
thinking
that.
The same thing with man.
You have that in your
13,
mind.
sex and that.
You're like, okay. Kanti a couple of months later, we're going to be introduced to my older sister, who's older than my sister-in-law, or some shit.
Yeah.
It was a shock.
You're 13 now.
I'm 13.
First time you're meeting
Yes.
them.
Like this is my other sister that we don't know of. And mind you, this lady has always been calling, like maybe once a month she would call at home and I'd be the one picking up the phone. Someone here, okay, because out of respect to Baba.
Ubaba, yeah.
I'm not thinking
A male figure, Ubaba.
I'm not thinking
My dad.
my dad. Like Baba, kono usban ban fukumna, okay. You know?
So it was known in the house, I suppose, with your mom and them.
My
you guys
mom,
were the only ones.
my mom and my sister knew, my older sister.
The older one, okay.
Yes. One day, Uzandile comes through. That's her name. May her soul rest in peace. We meet her. She looks exactly like my dad.
You could see it.
Dog. Everything. Like, she looks more like my dad than any of us. You know?
That's the interesting things of life, eh?
It's only now in hindsight I understand what my father was telling me. That ungabi nengane ungakashadi. Ubaba was running away from the whole baby mama situation.
So he was sharing that knowledge of his experience.
Yes.
But
without,
he couldn't articulate it
Thank you.
clearly.
Yes. So it's only years later where I'm like, oh.
Did you figure it out or he told you? What he meant then?
I think it was a bit of both. The minute the light switched on,
Yeah.
I then called Sahai, Baba, what did you mean by this? Because this is what I understood.
Yeah.
He was like, son, do yourself a favor. Ungabi nengane nomuntu ongashadile naye. Purely because should it happen that you guys break up,
Yeah.
and then you marry someone else, sometimes women, I'm not saying all women,
Yeah.
some women are very difficult to love ingane yakho. Fortunately, it wasn't the case with my mother because she was like, listen, thatha ingane yakho sohlala naye. But it was my dad's baby mama was like, there's no way
And for obvious
my
reasons.
child is going to be living with another woman and sharp.
Yeah.
You know? And it's cool, you know? So I had never then wanted to have a child outside of. So my prayer was, the day I have a child,
Yeah.
that woman must be the woman I
want
only
to marry.
have a child with.
Ah. Yo,
Do you get my point?
dude, trust me, like.
So
It's like in my head.
whether we break up or we do what, nangu mawengane, and for Mina that would be it.
To
Because
avoid.
yes, because also remember, there are certain generational curses that existed in my family.
And you want to break.
I am the first
Mm-hmm.
son kwa Makhanya to get married and have a child after getting married. My father didn't. His father didn't. But my great grandfather did.
So you're aligning back
Correct.
that Makhanya way of things now.
Correct.
Yo.
I'm the only Makhanya son
Yeah.
to have a degree.
So you're changing that for the family.
Yes.
And how did your dad feel about the way you conducted yourself to the point that you got married?
Obviously, he was happy, man.
Yeah.
He was very happy. It's not something that we spoke of. I don't think Baba, kakhulukazi from that generation, speak about such things and say, I'm proud of you, son. Where it was pathe. It's not for Zulu men to do such things.
They were
it's
never-
very uncharacteristic. I don't even think it's about being Zulu. I think as a man,
Indaki.
they don't. But they're
Yeah.
happy. You'll hear from maybe
Oh,
his
yeah.
friend.
He says it to Ban, but to you.
Yeah.
Okay, mfana wami.
Yeah. Like, the friend, Babu Spanbam, that is
He
close.
brags about you there.
I would say, Babako, we pata you're doing well. And he's so proud of him. Okay, doesn't speak about me. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things.
It's interesting when you say that because I didn't have such a, I wouldn't say not great relationship, but my parents were separate, so they lived. But you'd hear those stories from your father bragging about you, but you're like, dude, why can't me and you have a direct communication about things? Things like that. So they came from that school of how they were constructed and how society formed them. Uguti, they can't be as open.
Yes.
And I want to speak about being a what do you think being an active father is? What do you think?
Sometimes this Ngisi is a problem. Because we define certain things using a language that is not ours.
Yeah.
What does it mean being ubaba?
Yeah.
What does it mean being umzali? Mutswadi.
Yeah,
What they
Mutswadi.
call it, ne?
Yeah.
So for me, being a parent is you being present. You being there.
Yeah.
Then you can start breaking down what does it mean being present.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
like where you're going.
Because you can be married with a wife and have kids and be present. Being
While you're
present means I'm present right now. I'm here.
Yeah.
But I might not be here in this conversation. I could be far away thinking of my own things. And it happens with a lot of people who have fathers, but they are not there.
They're present in being.
Thank you.
Physically, but
Yes.
in everything else, they're very absent.
Correct.
Yeah.
So my understanding of your question is being a father who participates in your child's life.
And what does that look like for you? What is that? Since being a father, what is that?
Okay. So I spoke about generational curses, right?
Yeah.
And this is not a curse, but it's something that, like I said, Ubaba has not been someone who is able to be vocal about certain things. And remember, Itama and Nami, they are the only men in this household amongst women who I know everything about period pains, about pads, about tampons, about
So you're ready to be a...
bras, I know, and I've spent more time with women than I have with men because I grew up mostly with women. My sister has 5 sisters, and they all live in the same kasi. So the friends we have are our cousins, who mostly are women. So
This is interesting.
I get along with a whole bunch of women, and we can relate because my surrounding has been women.
So you have a very deep understanding of, to a certain level of how women exist.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So, in going back to what you're saying, for me, it's the simple things. Like, I've got a 2-year-old.
It's a boy.
It's a boy.
Yeah.
With a boy, you know, the one thing I remember the first time I saw him, you, boy.
Yeah, how was that for you, man?
You.
Take us there.
Let me take you back to me knowing that I'm having a son.
Yeah.
I knew when I was 18 that I was going to have a boy.
What? Okay. Break this down.
It came to me in a dream.
So you're born now, man. Because dreaming is also born. It's not like
not sangoma or whatever.
Yeah. It's like I know people
you
like
can
that.
say that. Yes,
they dream and
it came to me in a dream.
Yeah.
My name came to my parents in a dream. My
so
name
it's
is
in the family then.
My name is not Fezile, by the way. That's half my name.
Malphelele.
Inkosi ifezile. The Lord has fulfilled.
Sheesh. That's
When
beautiful.
my mom was pregnant, back then they didn't have these scans that you can check what sex you're having, you know. Same night. This is according to what my parents told me. They're both sleeping. My father says he was in the presence of a king.
In the dream.
In the dream. And he's telling this king, hey, you know, Nkosi, I'm actually having, my wife is pregnant, we're having a child. Oh, okay. The king goes uba mfana. Uwaba goes, okay, if umfana, I'm going to name him after you.
Yeah.
Meaning
Nkosi ifezile.
No, Nkosi.
Yeah.
Just Nkosi.
Oh, it was supposed to be Nkosi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom has a dream.
Yeah. Same night.
That she's having a boy. And because she comes from a family where there are more predominantly girls than boys, and Ubaba so far has 3 girls. It's my 2 older sisters.
Yes.
Then it's the firstborn that they have in this marriage together. So it means this man, for the first time, he's going to have a son, which means his dream of having a boy will be fulfilled. Zombiza ngo Fezile. They wake up, they talk about this dream. Oh, no, akabe Nkosi, no about Fezile. Actually,
Asayihlanganisa.
Nkosi Fezile. Inkosi Fezile. Interestingly enough, my father has 22 siblings. Umkhulu, his father, was a busybody, you know?
Yeah.
Got married.
A busybody.
Yeah. Had kids before getting married. He's the firstborn of all his kids. Gets married, has I think 5-6 kids, and during that marriage also has more kids, also with the neighbor as well, you know?
Yeah.
Most of his siblings, Nkosi Nathi, Nkosi Ngiphile, Nkosi Khona, kunonkosi ngaphakathi.
In there.
Yes. Funny enough, my father's name, one of them is Nkosi Khona.
Yeah.
Mina Nkosi Fezile. You know, so there's this lineage ekhona yonkosi.
I was about to ask you that. Yeah.
You know, I don't know. And as Chelan, it's not like you're going to be named after so and so. No, everything comes in a dream. When I found out recently again, before my son was born, that I'm going to have a boy,
Came in a dream.
it came in a dream. I was emceeing an event. I walk into this hall. As I walk in, I see it's just men only. From babies, like in prams, to toddlers, to teenagers, to men, to old men, to people on their dying beds. But amadoda kuphela.
Are you what you seeing this?
Yeah, in the dream.
Oh yes. Okay. Yeah.
That's when I knew this is going to be a boy. Lo and behold, a week later, we go to the scan. I can see the pipilinki there.
Naile Shandis.
Naile Shandisile. Confirmed.
Wow. Sure. That's amazing, man. It's so interesting how such things unfold. I mean, you're still gonna see a lot of things, eh?
Correct.
Yeah.
So, holding my son for the first time, it was a destiny fulfilled. But I just wanted to do things differently. Be more affectionate.
Yeah.
So my kid, since birth, ngiyamshintsha inabukeni, ngiyamfunza, ngiyamgeza, ngiyamlalisa. I play with him. I do the same thing that his mom does, except I just can't breastfeed because I don't have milk.
Technology.
You know, I
Who
know.
knows?
It's pushing it too far. No.
Cima. Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Yeah. So, I mean, I tell my kid I love him. Thanda ntwana. Mina ntwana yami. Ugrand ntwana. Uyintwana ngabani wena? Ntwana kaDad. Ntwana ngabani? Ntwana kaDad. Mbiza ngoDad. Ntwana kaDad. Yeah. Ubani igama lakaDad? Mahani, because that's what my wife calls me.
Yeah.
Mahani.
He also goes, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, but now he knows my name.
Yeah. So, elinye igama ubani? Fezile. Good. Yabo.
Ne?
So it's those manghamba kantwana. Sharp
Yeah.
twana. High five, you know?
Yeah.
Anyosani.
That's
Love you, boy.
nice.
Tanda daddy, sharp, you know? So it's more now on the emotional side of it. Our fathers would then go, yabona emotional manje lento.
Wenza ujuju.
Yabona.
As in you're making him soft.
Okay.
No,
okay.
come on. One individual can't own this name now. Come on. No.
Wenza smoothies lento, wenza cotton wool. Yabo.
Yeah, okay, let's use cotton.
So I think that's the one thing that my father and I don't have. Do I long or yearn for it? No. Ngikhule nginayo the whole, you know,
The affectionate part
and
of
nakhona
the male
kusharp.
figure.
And I understand that because of his upbringing. Yabo. So it means it gives me a chance to do better as a father, you know.
What made you take that stance with your child versus is you didn't have it, and from what you're saying, assume you didn't have a lot of other male figures around you.
Yeah.
What made you say, okay, I'm gonna take this route with my son, yet I was never exposed to such?
Even with the male figures that existed, and it still exists in my life, because all mamncane mamkhulu bonke bashadile.
Yeah, or they had husbands.
Yes.
Obviously, yeah.
But upbringing yabo yonke cishe ifane.
They act the same.
Copy and paste, same thing. Yabo. I wanted to be the father that I wish I had.
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Dude,
But most importantly, I am raising. I mean, I don't call my son a boy. I call him a man.
yeah. Kulisindot.
Yeah. Even masixabana no ma'am, when sometimes I become very hard and I punish him. No, ngane. No. Phela ngikhulisa indoda la. Angikhulisa ismoothies.
Asakhulumi lesi simo. Yeah.
Because for me now, I want my son to be able to express himself emotionally when he's not okay. To me. Because remember, if I am creating or if I am ngikhulisa umuntu where I want to be better than me, I must then equip him with all the knowledge that I have.
The experience, yeah.
But at the right time.
Correct.
Yabo.
Correct.
So that him and I are able to communicate. So ngingasiza lapho engasiza khona, so that he also doesn't make mistakes that I've made, that his grandfather's made, that his great grandfather's made. But it doesn't mean that I'm ngikhulisa a perfect human being.
No, of course.
There will also be flaws. Because as someone who's also an entrepreneur or someone osebenzayo, I may sometimes not be there. I may also be an absent father to a certain degree because ngizama ukuthi lo mndeni ube right.
Great provision for the
Yabo.
house.
So there will always be, and I say this, there will always be flaws and triggers that my son, when he's my age, will go, you know, yes, my father was there, but I wish he did the best he could.
ABC, yeah, under the circumstances.
Under the circumstances.
Yeah.
There will never be a perfect parent. Never.
You know when you go, just going back to that, when you talk about being present and now where you always won't be there. And I agree to it. And I'm a activist of being an active dad / present. And for me is, as a father, as a man, you definitely need to go out there and work. You have to and create also that culture of your son seeing good.
Correct.
A man has to do that.
Yebo.
But what I like us to always remember, ukusebenza is not the issue. The problem for me, I find, is when you are home, that's when you must be present and there. You know? So they know good when Ubaba is here, I'm his. But when Ubaba's gone, he understands he's gone to go work. But we sometimes find ourselves with Maubuya from wherever you are, business trip, whatever, you come back and you switch off. That's the only time you have to give to your child, to your family, to whoever it is that you coexist with.
Yeah.
So for me, that's how I would say being present is go out and work. But Mokon, give your time. and your time being present.
I think it's easier said than done. Because
and I'd agree to that. It's not simple.
Going out there into the jungle,
and
having all the fights that you need to have. Coming back home, you're there to
switch off.
But most importantly, you also replay the day's events at home.
In your head.
That's your safe place.
Yeah.
So you get home, and as you replay, backbone, obviously you hug them and whatnot. But you're still stuck. You're still trying to then
you're replaying that thing.
Yeah. You're also trying to now shake off the day's events. And it doesn't happen automatically. Hence I say it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
And even your kids, be it boys or girls, they'll obviously pick that up. But go cooler, they'll also understand and experience the challenges that ubaba and umama go through in the workspace. Hence I say to Gutena, this thing, you all you need to do as a parent, as a father, just do better than what your father did.
Yeah.
And then
take the baton.
Yes, take the baton and run with it. Mistakes will be made. Laugh at yourself when you need to. But I try not to be serious when I'm at home. I try to be a clown. We play. So many things get broken, Some of them is also my fault,
And then I'm sure mother's thinking like, to man.
Yeah. So, like when I look at it, he reminds me of when I was young.
Still there.
Yeah. And sometimes...
And you have sympathy for him because you understand.
Of course, you understand.
But from the other side, it's like...
yeah. But also when he takes it too from the...
It's too much.
Boya.
No, you're not. You're right about easier said than done.
Yeah.
But even me, I understand that. And I find myself tired at times. But I consciously have to remind myself, Uguti, how can I... The little I can give at that time, because now my energies are depleted, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, if I'm giving this boy 20 minutes, psych myself up, align, give him.
Going hard.
So he knows, Uguti, mali autikon. We create a connection.
Correct.
At least, even if I'm feeding him, there's that bond.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not always a linear way of giving that time, because feeding can take you at a good hour, depending how quick the guy sleeps. So that's what it is for me, Guti. I feel like as parents, that's where guys specifically, that's the gap we should be conscious of. How do to build that relation with our kids if you are that busy of a man,
But we are raising kids. In fact, our parents raised us not knowing that there would be things like technology. Most of our parents don't know how to use a computer. My father doesn't. He doesn't even know how to use an ATM.
Cash. To date.
Till today.
Yeah.
If a bank and wants to see his bank statements, he calls the manager direct, Baba, slale phansi, let's compare apples with apples. Sigupila, and my notes say this and that. Correct. Our kids never went to these multiracial schools. So they've never interacted with white people, Indians and coloreds the way that we have growing up. So Nati, we also need to take into account that we are raising kids whereby we don't know what the future holds.
Yeah.
And we're not equipped to help them with whatever's coming. There are careers that have not been invented that they're going to get into that we don't know.
Yeah, no, well, the future is definitely like that.
Do you get my point? Like, abazali bethu bakhule no dokotela, kuno nurse, namaphoyisa, the soft skills that exist, and bricklayers and no teacher and whatnot, Not ukuthi kunabantu abatrade forex, abantu abenza ama-podcast, people that work from home, they are structural engineers, they're aeronautical. Yeah, into endlane unkosikazi uyahamba umakoti usemsebenzini kanti fana wenzani
ethatha imali
yabo into engisho. So nathi asibeke kulo mqondo ukuthi na sikhulisa ingane asazi ukuthi kusasa labo libaphatheleni from a career point of view, and also just bethu abanye bethu sihlala manje kuma state that our parents till today might not live in. They might live in the suburbs,
but it's not
standalone houses, but not estates.
Yeah.
Do you get my point?
I'm with you.
So Nati, we are flawed somewhat because we also don't know what we're doing. We'll find.
There's no manual to this.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's I
And
like
that's
it.
the beauty of it, though. For me, that's the excitement of it because you're figuring out how to be a man in your own right, a husband, and a father.
Yeah.
Sonke
And
siyakhula.
I feel like for women, because women exist in society as the pillars.
Yeah.
With men, we don't have that pillar. Speaking for me and the few people that I know, Guti, getting married where you can go have a consultation with you. I wouldn't know the case where your dad can be like, hey, Mfan, so shut. This is how you're going to have to navigate yourself.
Yeah.
These are the things you need to look out for. He's not giving you the blueprint, but this is how this structure works.
Correct.
And this is how you need to find yourself. Every time you fall, I'm here,
Yeah.
do this, do that. But women have a lot of that support. And we as men do not have that. Hence, to your comment now that we're just navigating our way through this haystack.
Yes.
And a podcast like this, for me, is where we as men are all in the dark. But you might be going through something that I probably went through a month ago,
Correct.
6 months ago.
But because ngiyasaba
Fez.
ukukhuluma.
Correct. No, dog, don't worry. This, da 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 da. And you go home, you're like, oh.
Yeah. I think it's because like
Yeah, bon.
Tina as I'm out yabo asikhuluma.
Yeah.
Yabo.
Maggie was saying that.
No, serious. We asikhuluma yabo. And I don't know whether it's a pride thing or whatnot, but we find ourselves wanting to be alone with a bottle of whiskey and kind of think things through first before being able to process it and say it. And even when you process it, you still you don't know how to put it in words the way that women do when it comes to feelings because we're not programmed that way.
Yeah.
You know?
Very true.
I mean, I speak in bullet form when I express my emotions and serious things.
What do you mean you speak in bullet form?
I give you highlights.
Or nazinking.
Yabo. Angeke ngikutshela ukuthi uyazi ngisuke la kaNeo. Ngame robotini. Madino ile model necishe ngishayisa yabo. And ngapha ngicabanga le ndaba le ukuthi this is where we are. No, I'll tell you I know.
Straight to the point.
No, yazi ukuthini. Ngisuka kaNeo sengila manje and this is the issue that I have. But yeah, ngizobona. I'll deal with it later. Kwamanje yeah, so right. You know? Then it's your partner that keeps probing. And
What's in between there?
the more she probes, nami sometimes ngiyadineka because like yo,
I don't want to talk about this.
angishilo nje ngathi na angazi nami, yabo? Now you want us to sit and talk and you know it's difficult.
Because you're right, by we're not wired like that. But then when we are saying we need to speak, how are we gonna develop that skill?
My brother, I think sometimes our partners need to learn to come to our level. You cannot compete with the opposite sex when it comes to expressing yourself. We're not women.
Of course.
So let's not compare ourselves because what people do is they say, you know, you must learn to express yourself and talk. Ngiyakhuluma. Angithi ngiyakhuluma.
Yeah.
So when as my friend or as my partner in this thing, you need to know, okay, ufezile umesosha kanje. I think maybe this is what it means.
I get correct.
Yeah. And if ungekho sure, buza.
Directly.
Yes. Ushap? No. What's the problem? Work stuff. What is it? Maybe clients haven't paid on time. Okay, no. Love kuzolunga, you know?
Pelilinda.
Yeah, finish. But then this is what will help me. You know what I like. Whether I'm a smoker or I like relaxing myself with a glass of wine or whiskey.
Or let me go and play 18 holes.
Yeah. Or love.
Yeah, whatever the language is.
Go to the gym if it's not late or, you know, have a glass of wine. Whatever the
Go
language is.
unwind for that.
Thank you. Because I need to just be me. Is unwind itself. We're singing right. Do you know what happens after that? That problem solves itself.
It becomes...
Correct.
Yeah.
Without having to spend 30 minutes trying to tell you how I feel. I don't care how I feel myself. Now you want me to express how I feel? I'm not built that way.
It's not gonna come out that easily.
No.
There's ways to vent it out.
Yes, there's ways to vent it out. And that's just how, as a man, I'm built. I'm built to provide and protect.
And we're now building this new, because it's like a new era of us new fathers. Like, you know what? Let's give a bit more affection, where we don't really know much of it.
That's it.
But we are taking a step closer.
Correct.
To say,
Siyazama.
my
Siyazama,
boy,
mfethu.
I'm gonna give you this much.
Yes.
And hopefully you become a better man.
Yes.
You know, because we're adding on
Yes.
to what you already are innate.
Correct. We should put our pride aside, especially in, like I said, having a son for me. I sometimes shower with my boy. We see each other naked. He then identifies and says, "Oh,
Siyafana.
what's a siyafana?"
Yeah.
You know? Maybe it's just the size that might be different, but this homie is exactly the same as me.
We are one.
So you find that, like, because now he's
The
body training.
fascination.
Yeah. He now, like, he wants me to take him to the toilet, you know, because there's certain things that we do, as you know, Mukhama, we shake it off after pee. That his mom doesn't know, because his mom doesn't have what the boy has.
She
you know?
can't.
So
and
now,
vice versa with women.
So he knows when it's a cooler, he knows when I go, he knows it's time to shake it off after pee. So now he goes, Angsash, goes, shake it off. It's the simple things
that you instill in him.
Yeah. I mean, those things, our parents, most of our parents, our fathers didn't do that for us. They didn't change our nappies.
Nah.
Yeah,
it's not a blanket effect.
So like you are getting there. It's a process, you know. And it's an amazing journey, Fethu. It's an amazing journey. The fact that we can sit like this and talk about fatherhood and whatnot, you know.
It's a step forward.
Yes.
It's definitely a step forward.
It's a huge step forward.
No, it is. And I think for me, it's also like healing to hear that you're not the only one going through certain stages of being a father, being married, being a man. You know, like we're all going through similar problems. Correct. Maybe from different aspects of life. But I like when I hear that you're not alone, man. You know, you're not alone. So what's been the biggest challenge of being a dad?
I think it's managing time. Excuse me, it's managing time.
Yeah.
Like I said, you know, working takes up a lot of your time.
Correct.
You know, as an actor as well.
Yeah.
You get picked up at like 5:15 in the morning.
Ish, those early calls.
Yes. You are at work the whole day, sometimes till about 6. You get home at like 7.
8.
Into an 8.
Yeah,
so
it's an hour.
You have an hour.
Tired.
And dog, you come
must
home.
read scripts for tomorrow.
You come home, you are famished. You are, you know. And the minute your kid sees you,
Yeah.
because we
You're
are
the hero, bro.
Yeah.
He's gonna land anytime now.
So you have an hour to make up for the 12 hours that you were not at home. Plus, you must put him to bed. And
He's excited.
And mind you, you've also got a partner.
You must give.
You know?
Time
so
to.
once into an ilala, 8, same time ilala first 8. Then this one next door goes, how you know, about her day, about that, and you know. And then you're also thinking, I slept scripts. And tomorrow is also like a long day as well.
It's another 5 a.m.
you
call.
know? So, yeah, it's time, boy.
Time.
Yeah, it's time.
That's one of the challenges.
I think it's the biggest challenge. It's time. And it goes back to the lesson my father taught me at a young age. Time.
But I love that thing, man, and of this watch. How to you now, a watch is not only a watch. It has a deeper symbol.
Yes.
To it.
I think it teaches us all a lesson.
Because akusuksoenka for you.
No.
Based on that time.
No.
It was given to you.
Yes. It's time. At the ages that we're at now.
Yeah.
We met, we were very young. Like early 20s.
Early 20s.
21, 22.
Yeah.
I'm 40 now this year.
Yay! No, I'm joining you not this year, but sometime.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you then think of, sure, if I'm 40, how old are my parents if they're still alive? And when you see them now, you go, yo, you can see no abazali.
Isikhathi sesihambile.
Now, when there are family issues at home,
Undoda.
bafanele wena, hey, baba, sinenkinga la. This thing needs you.
Somebody with energy.
Yeah, angiko this weekend, next week ngafika, okay, we will wait until you arrive.
We'll have that
We
meeting.
are now at the age where when the issues at home, you are the person that, if you're responsible enough, they call you and say, your assistance now is needed. Why? Our parents are grooming us
to take over.
Yeah. It's sad,
But it's reality.
it's reality.
Yeah.
You know? So we need to also embrace that. Hence, ngiti, time.
I love that time concept, and yeah, I want to see how I impart this, because I think my wife and I have one of the things we want to teach him is discipline. The greatest thing about being a dad.
Sure. It's being a dad.
Yeah.
That is the greatest thing. It's
Look
being
at
a
his
dad.
face.
No,
Light
it is.
up. Yeah.
No, think about it. First, you know, I go back to the first time I found out that my wife was pregnant. You know, the first thing that came to my mind is, hey, boy. And this is me telling myself, you know.
What did you think otherwise?
I thought, so, look, my first child I had in 37.
Oh yeah, no, me was
Yeah, bro.
earlier.
So,
But we had them all, eh?
no, yeah, we did.
But who's counting?
So, yeah, but for me, it was confirmation that, wow,
Yeah, Sebe.
Iyaspan. Well done, big boy. You know?
For 37 years, we thought you were dormant.
You know? And then you have this human. So I look at my kid and I go, wow, I can't, till today.
Like, I'm part of this.
Like, I
Yeah,
can't
yeah, yeah.
believe. Like, he's got my ears. You know, there's a mini me running around out there while I'm here. You know?
Yeah.
And I have the opportunity of shaping this kid's future for him to being something that I could have never imagined for him to be. You know, you know, as a parent, you have this blessing that God has given you to really impart knowledge and leave your kid with so much more than what your parents left you. And it's not just from a money point of view,
No.
but the thinking.
How they feel over time with what you did for them.
Are you aware that if you're smart enough,
He's challenging me.
if you're smart enough,
Yeah.
you, when you die, you can leave your kids with so much so that not only do they not need to work for the rest of their lives, but their only job in life is to maintain and grow what you've left them.
Yeah. And I think what you're saying, we grew up with a lot of guys like that. But when you're saying, are you smart enough? Are you saying you as the parent?
Yes.
That you instill certain discipline structures, so that if Nyahamba, you guys financially will be okay based on you following these principles or these structures.
Let me give an example. Ekasi, we all know of people who kubo begnamategis,
It's Paza, you name it.
namaspaza. The father passes away.
It's inevitable.
2 years.
It's a long time, actually. 2 years.
Ngati, there was never taxis to begin with. And the guy looks worse
Off. Then when he didn't take over.
Yeah. So ask yourself this question. How come this guy did that in 2 years? And this is not a blame game. It's now to say, okay. Now,
I have a theory around that.
okay.
Yeah, but no, continue, sorry.
So this is to say, okay, Bugage. If my father, because growing up in these multiracial schools, you see it, especially I was in boarding school in high school, you see it with a lot of my Indian friends and white friends. On weekends, the parents would come and pick them up. This one guy, I'll never forget his name. His surname was Maharaj. Kubo babeno boxer.
Okay, the shop.
Yes. boxer.
Supermarket.
Mfethu, this guy, at 16, he knew that Kubo, the boxer, makes R1 million a month revenue. At 16.
He knew it.
He knew.
How do you know he knew that?
Because he told me.
No, okay, what I'm trying to ask is, when you said revenue, he used those words.
Yes.
Ah.
Because that's the conversations that he had with his father.
With the
so his
revenue.
father was steering him to becoming more entrepreneurial in terms of understanding accounting. That was his favorite subject.
It's like, practically we're going to do this.
Because for him, the numbers that he was learning at school is something he already has that he's learning kubo.
Practically he sees it.
Do you get my point?
Yeah.
So taking it back to ekasi, whereby ubaba unama-tax awu-20.
I think you're going to my comment.
Nama check-in. Okay, usibani bani uya check-in. Angisho ukuthi wena hamba uyolanda imali. But buka mina as your father. Nansi imali, okay, even if it's not specific, but kungena imali engaka la ekhaya, this is how the system works. Mama, woza now, because angithi, mama,
Zonshano.
were never also involved in this business.
Yes.
Yabo. Understand how this business works. This is how much engenayo. Kule mali ibekwa kanjena. This is what we do. This is what I have. This is how I use this money. Nakho kwakho.
Let's see.
Saver, qala kancane kancane. Yes, uzowenza amaphutha in the beginning. But
it's normal.
Exactly. Do you see what I mean? Hence, I'm saying to you, if you're smart enough.
Let me translate what you're saying. Going back to my theory. It's that succession plan. That's all it is for me. What I've seen with all people I've grown with, where they had businesses, the fathers, well, mainly they were the ones running the business. Even the mothers, but
Yes.
which was not so common.
Correct.
We don't impart that knowledge of how the business runs. It's different what path they choose in life, but at least they know how this thing operates when you're not there. Do I want to sell it? I can still keep it. Versus me being surprised and seeing all this money and thinking I'm going to just ball out.
Correct.
So succession for me is one of the most important conversations to have as a parent to your kids.
Mina, I have started exposing my kid to cash.
Yeah.
I know that now we're going to a cashless society.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm going to understand it. Cash.
Count and feel it, yeah.
Now I'm going to understand. Count and feel it. When we go to church, what I mangizonikela
Uyambonisa.
angimbonisi. Kufaka esandleni. Me.
Nikela.
Faka la.
Aha.
Yabo. Qala kanjalo. So that umuntu ajwayele ukunderstanda imali.
You know what's funny is, for some people, some of us are not numerical.
Yeah.
So now going into this cashless society, it might blur the understanding and the value of money. Because Mawibamba, you understood there are 10 rands within 100 rand.
Yes.
Yes. So you could understand Maudla 100 randi.
Yeah.
But 50, what it means.
Yes.
Value wise. So yeah, I think it's still a very good lesson to, and it's gonna take a while, especially in Africa. Physically, it'll take a long time.
To make it cashless, but I can tell you now, like you're saying, agreeing to your point, it's gonna take a very long time. Cash
specifically in Africa.
Yes.
Specifically, we have a lot of informal businesses, and we still enjoy the privileges of trading with physical
Cash is
things.
still king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In closing, what advice do you have for young dads out there like me and yourself, being a young father, from the lessons you've learned and the conversations you've had with your father at this stage? I'm sure now there's a lot of gems he's shared with you, and just seeing how society is. And
I wouldn't say it's advice.
Yeah.
But I would rather say, give yourself time. Learn from your own mistakes. But most importantly, live and be in the moment.
Yeah.
There's nothing more that I can say apart from that, because Mfethu, nami, I am learning as I grow. Just because I'm a father doesn't mean I know everything.
And I don't think you will, even if your kids are 20.
Just because I'm married and someone else is not doesn't mean I know everything.
Of course.
That's why I'm going give yourself
Time.
time, be in the moment, but live. Finish.
Be in the moment and give yourself time. Fez, thank you so much.
Appreciate you, brother.
Daddies of SA, we out.